There aren't many situations where the smell of smoke isn't a sign of disaster. Under any normal circumstance, the scent or sight of it will be enough to make you stop in your tracks. But unless you're a vegan, the smell emanating from any home or garden in the summer heat never inspires any concern. Instead, we are filled with elation. Someone's barbecuing. Barbecue is an integral part of many cultures around the world. According to a 2015 survey by Hearth, Patio and Barbecue Association, almost 3/4 of American adults own either a grill or a smoker. So if you're invited round for dinner on a summer's eve, you can be pretty sure what's on the menu. But the history of the phenomena isn't as cut and dry as one might think. Instead, potential origins have deep roots in the intersections of various cultures. To this day, historians have failed to concretely identify the first barbecue. Welcome to Intrigued Mind, and join us today as we turn back the clocks and analyze the potential origins of our favorite smoking feast, the good old summer barbecue. Before we start, are you subscribed to the Intrigued Mind channel? Be sure to hit up that notification bell to always keep up to date with the most fascinating forgotten parts of our history. The muddy origins of the barbecue begin with its name. The roots of the title are a topic still fiercely debated among historians. As a result, anyone looking to learn about the topic is left with a number of sometimes contradictory stories and accounts of the fabled first barbecue. The English word barbecue and its variations are derived from the Spanish word barbacoa. Barbacoa. In contemporary Mexico, the barbacoa is a meat dish traditionally involving the steaming of sheep or goat over an open fire. Although the term barbacoa is used to describe a variety of different dishes today, a consistent feature of barbacoa dishes are the steaming of meat until tender. Barbacoa meats are known to have a high fat content, an overwhelming flavor, and are typically served with onion and coriander. Etymologists have argued that barbacoa was derived from barbecue, found in the language of the Arawak people of the Caribbean and the Timucua people of Florida. In doing so, they suggest that the origins of barbecue were in the act of digging a hole in the ground and cooking a whole goat over it, with a pot underneath to catch the drippings. If that's the case, the first barbecue would have looked a lot different to what we're used to today. One account credits French explorers with coining the term. Apparently, after a trip around the Caribbean islands, 2 Frenchmen saw a whole hog being cooked. It was described as a barbe-à-queue, meaning from beard to tail, and thus the term barbecue was born. The Old Oxford Dictionary traces the origins of barbecue to Haiti, where it translates as a framework of sticks set upon posts. This definition is matched by a written account by Spanish colonists after 1492. Here they found Taino, an indigenous people of the Caribbean, roasting meat on a framework of sticks over an open fire. In 1755, Samuel Johnson's The Dictionary of the English Language defined the act of barbecuing as a term of West Indian origin. It describes the act of dressing a hog whole, laying it on a large gridiron, and placing it over a charcoal fire. Some accounts even suggest that the roots of the phenomenon are more modern. Another origin story is that barbecue is a derivative of the popular US roadhouse. This tale states that the term came to prominence as a contraction of the joint's best assets, bar, beer, and queue. Several Texas cookbooks have attempted to propel the myth that the term is derived from the name of a rancher called Bernard Quayle. Apparently, Mr. Quayle loved to cook meat over pits and serve the food to his friends. His ranch thus became known as Bar-B-Q. This is, needless to say, very little or no evidence to prove that this story is more than a total fabrication. Even with all these accounts, the debate rages on. According to a report from the Daily Express, a 4-foot-wide roasting pig dating back to 29,000 BC was found in the Czech Republic. The pit was discovered alongside mammoth bones and utensils that helped us to establish what the pit was used to cook. According to many, this was actually the discovery of the world's first barbecue. Despite these possible ancient and more modern origins, it's clear that the English word barbecue and its French and Portuguese variants were originally loaned from the Spanish accounts. Although different variations of the English term date back to 1648, the first recorded use of the modern barbecue was in 1661. All things considered, the Spanish accounts, traced all the way back to the Caribbean, probably tell us of the true first barbecue. Definitions and origins are important, but cultural understandings even more so. As barbecues spread around the world, exactly what it meant continued to evolve and expand even further. Thus, it is important to establish what it truly means to barbecue around the world. Many people think that to barbecue is to simply cook meat outside on a hot charcoal fire. But in 1733, the term had become to mean a social gathering during which meat was grilled. The official definition, which doesn't take much stock of the term's historical origins, is a bit more specific. To barbecue is to slowly roast meat, poultry or fish, over both heat and smoke for several hours. With the roots and definitions of the term so wild and varied, it's not hard to see how the barbecue phenomena can be a part of culture all over the globe. And that's not even to mention the countries most famous for their barbecue culture. With the spread of European settlers across the globe, it's not hard to see how the concept was adopted in North America, Canada, New Zealand and Australia, each with its own cultural spin. But with this checkered past, the term has also taken on other connotations. Its links with colonialism mean that some historians criticize the term for its savage overtones. Images of savage tribes participating in cannibalistic barbecues are a striking part of colonial literature. Furthermore, the fact that barbecue was most likely appropriated from indigenous cultures presents its own issues. Some argue that these racist connotations remain in the usage of the term, even to this today. These varied cultural understands of barbecue mean that the ritual is observed all over the world in vastly different ways. Here's a few facts about barbecue in cultures across the globe. According to many, Denmark is the barbecue capital of the world, spending more on barbecues and accessories over the year than any other country. It's no surprise that many consider barbecue the ultimate place for a BBQ. In the United Kingdom, barbecues often are celebrations for big events. On the 29th of April 2011, 7.5 million British barbecues occurred to mark the marriage of Prince William and Kate Middleton. In the United States, barbecues have a presidential appeal. President George Washington himself was reportedly a huge fan of them, having written in his diary about visiting and hosting one. However, the first barbecue at the White House didn't occur until the 1960s. The 36th President Lyndon B. Johnson was the first to host a barbecue at the White House. Featuring Texas-style barbecued ribs, the tradition has been kept up by presidents since. Both Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan have also hosted cookouts at the White House. In the US, barbecue competitions have been a summer event since at least 1959. The first occurred in Hawaii, where 25,000 men entered the competition for the grand prize of $10,000, or $78,000 today. Australia is famous for its love of barbecue, lovingly named Barbies. Although the nickname is authentic, the famous phrase, "throw another shrimp on the Barbie," is not. Originally from a series of tourism commercials starring Crocodile Dundee actor Paul Hogan, the phrase's authenticity is let down by one simple fact. True Australians would be far more likely to say prawn than shrimp, but the substitution was made to appeal to American audiences. In many countries, people seem to think that barbecuing is a male activity, but recent reports have stated that the first people to cook with the barbacoa method were likely women. Indigenous gender norms dictated that while men were the hunters, women would handle the cooking. Furthermore, barbecues today are not as male-dominated as you might think. Only 50% of barbecues are cooked by men. As we have seen, the phenomena's murky origins have meant that the barbecue culture is, to some degree, a part of every culture around the world. Its social aspect, cross-cultural appeal, and delicious food means that even though it means different things around the globe, the barbecue is a common thread that can tie us all together. It is even popular in Asia. According to Cinder's Barbecues, on a hot summer's day, you're as likely to see a barbecue in Beijing as in Sydney or Texas. Barbecue is an integral part of summer culture for many all over the globe. But, by all accounts, they are only getting more popular. According to OUTBACK Direct, the number of barbecues held per family during summer has risen from 2.5 to over 9 in the last 10 years. All in all, over 40,000 tons of charcoal are used each year to barbecue. But despite its popularity, many are unfamiliar with the murky origins of the global phenomena. Although we can't know for certain the exact origins of first barbecue, we do have a number of possible accounts. From prehistory to the present day, the story of the first barbecue is still fiercely debated among historians. Despite this, no matter where you go on a summer's day, the smell of charcoal smoke won't be far off. Barbecue has spread throughout the world over the past hundreds of years. As a result, today every culture does it a bit differently. So next time you're firing up the coals and grabbing the tongs, pay a thought to the hundreds of barbecues that came before. You are about to be entering the fascinating annals of barbecue history. For more videos on the most amazing forgotten parts of history, be sure to subscribe to the Intrigued Mind channel. Like the video and leave your suggestions in the comments below.